Good day, everyone. This is Miss I, and welcome to our reading and writing subject. For today, we will be discussing Lesson 3, Part 2, which is Graphic Organizer. So, we previously discussed about brainstorming, our Lesson 3, Part 1. We had the definition, its types, the advantages, and advantages. So, for today, we will just focus on graphic organizers, its definition and types, as well as its benefits. Okay, so what is graphic organizer or what are graphic organizers? These are visual representations of concepts that help us structure information into organizational patterns. Okay, so it's called graphic because whenever you see a graphic organizer, you already know what type of information there is. Okay, and how is the information organized? So just one look at it, you already have an idea what particular type of organizer it is all about. Okay, or even what type of information is it going to be giving you as a reader. So if you would have noticed, I included an illustration in here because when we say graphic, no, ang makikita natin dyan is illustrations, shapes, and lines wherein the information are already put there. Okay, for us readers to easily comprehend, to easily understand, or to easily know what are the most important points. Another thing is that it is very important because it is a technique. Okay, a technique of organizing information that presents, again, essential information, and these pieces of information are connected in such a way that it presents a coherent framework. Okay, like what I have mentioned earlier, just one look at it, you would already know what information there is. Okay, now, they are very important because they help others focus on the relationships of the different ideas, no, or different topics that you are going to discuss. And again, there are connections and relationships between the ideas and between the topics inside these graphic organizers. So there are many kinds of graphic organizers, no? I just included those that we are somehow familiar with, no? Na-encounter na natin. And usually, ito yung magagamit natin. Mas madalas nating magagamit. Alright? So we have these kinds of graphic organizers: Venn diagram, network tree, spider map, problem solution map, timeline, plot diagram, chain diagram, fishbone map, cycle, and persuasion map. So let's go over that one by one. Let's start with Venn diagram. When we say Venn diagram, these are used to compare ideas and events and show similar and different attributes using two or more overlapping circles. Okay, so actually this is the most common, no, type of graphic organizer. Ito yung pinaka-aware din tayo at pinaka-ginagamit din natin. Okay, so na-mention yung comparison. Again, we talk about comparison during our brainstorming discussion. Now, when we say comparison, papasok dyan ang similarities and differences ng dalawang topic or ng dalawang idea. Now, how do we create Venn diagram? We use two overlapping circles. Okay, this one is a funny one, no? Funny meme siya nagkalat sa internet, sa mga social media. If you know, you know. Okay, if you are familiar with the musician Ben and Ben, twins sila. So this makes sense, no, kung bakit tinawag nila na Venn diagram. And circle, and then B circle, and then there's overlapping part. On a more serious note, this is an example of a Venn diagram. We have Great Dane and Poodle. No, these two are breeds ng dog. Okay? So let's go over with the similarities muna. Itong nasa green part, yung overlapping circle. First is Happy Pappy, meaning both Great Dane and Poodle, breeds of dog, are both Happy Pappy. Okay? And as well as it doesn't bark a lot, both of them. Hindi sila tahulin, kumbaga. Hindi sila madalas sumatahol kumpara sa mga ibang mga aso. Okay? So let's go over the differences. Itong nasa blue shade and then yellow shade. The first one is it's a lot. Great Dane eats a lot compared to Poodle na hindi gaano kumakain. Next criteria, in terms of its size, Great Dane grows large, no? Lumalaki ito mas mabilis. And kumpara sa poodle, ito naman, it stays small. No, maliliit lang sila, mga cute lang sila. Next criteria in terms of disposition, Great Dane are usually this type of breed is usually relaxed or calm. Okay, compared to poodle, they are very energetic. They like to play around, go around. They are very excited. Okay, next criteria, Great Dane, they are medium shedding. Na pag nagsha-shed sila is medium yung or medium lang compared to poodle na very little. Okay? I'd like to point out when we are using Venn diagram in terms of the differences, you have to create a particular or you have to think of a particular criteria. Okay, if you would have noticed the first asterisk, it's a lot, it's a little. No, they have the same criteria in terms of eating. Okay, the next one, grows large, stays small. Same criteria in terms of the size. Next criteria in terms of disposition. And next is about shedding. Okay, so if we are, when we are giving comparison or differences of two different topics or two different ideas, make sure that you state the same criteria in giving the differences. Okay, so I have here the photo or photos of Great Dane and Poodle, no, para magkaroon din kayo ng idea kung ano bang itsura nilang dalawa. Okay, let's move on to the next one, which is network tree. So when we say network tree, it is a type of graphic organizer that we use to represent hierarchy, classification, and branching or showing relationships of scientific categories, family trees, and even lineages. Okay, so it just shows relationships. Yun lang yung tatandaan nyo in terms of network tree. So here's an example. You have one main idea, and then it could branch out into little ideas, or this main ideas related to two different ideas that could branch out to or relate to. Okay, pwede siyang related to different ideas. So take for example this one. One big umbrella of idea, US currency is composed of coins and paper. So as for the coins, there are colored coins, which are copper and silver. And for copper, there are pennies. For silver, there are dimes and quarters. As for the paper currency, okay, so you have the $1 bill and the $5 bill. Okay, so you can do the same for the Philippine currency. For example, you also have coins and papers. So what type of coins do we have? What type of paper currency do we have? You can write that down as well. Other than that, network tree are also used to show organizational mapping. No, kung mapapansin niyo dito sa right side, different people in an organization. Okay, so how are they interconnected or connected to one another? Sino yung nasa taas? Sino yung nasa ibaba? Okay, so madalas mapapansin din natin ito kung napapasyal kayo sa mga barangay, sa munisipyo, no? Ito yung bubungad sa'yo or usually nasa office to ng mayor tas nasa likuran niya yung ganitong klase ng network tree wherein kung sino ba yung pinakang mataas ang posisyon tapos pababa. Wherein one of the goal of this graphic organizer is for us to be familiarized again in terms of the hierarchy and the relationship. Okay, kung sino ba yung mayor, vice mayor, and yung mga sumunod na posisyon or yung mas mababang position after that. Next graphic organizer, we also have what we refer to as spider map. Okay, and which is also known as the semantic map or more commonly known as a semantic map. And this use investigate and enumerate various aspects of a central idea, which could be a concept, topic, or theme, also known as, again, semantic map. Okay, take a look at our example. If you are trying to map it out using shapes, using lines, no, it looks like a spider. Okay, kaya siya tinawag na spider map. We have here in the middle, using a circle or a round shape, you can write down the topic or the central theme. And then you can branch out, you can use lines to show that there are main ideas that may support this particular topic. And then you can use smaller lines to create or to include details about this particular main idea. Okay, so katulad lang din ng spider, meron siyang ang malaking part, yung parang body niya 'no, dun yung central idea or main idea natin tapos yung mga galamay dun yung mga smaller details, which are all connected by the way. Okay, next, let's have problem solution map. This displays the nature of the problem and how it can be solved. From the name itself, no, in this graphic organizer indicated kung ano ba yung problema and yung probable solution in a particular topic. Okay, so in here, there is a problem that is identified. And as a writer or as a source of information, we're trying to figure out how we can provide a solution for this particular problem. And syempre, para tayo makapagbigay ng solusyon sa isang problema, first have to identify the problem. Okay? So write down the definition, what is it all about, or a deeper understanding about it, and then causes and effects. And dun sa pangalawang blue circle, no, dun sa right part is the solution or probable solution you can think of. Okay, wag malilito sa causes and effects, no? Causes, what is causing this particular issue? Okay, what is causing this particular problem? Similarly, you also try to identify the different effects that it could have. Sino ba yung mga apektado sa problemang ito? Paano ba nito naaapektuhan yung mga tao, halimbawa, or yung environment, or yung mga situation? Make sure to identify these three first, definition, causes, and effects bago ka magbigay ng solution. Siyempre malalaman na natin kung ano ba yung posibleng makasolusyon doon sa problema now that we know what's causing it, how it's affecting other people, and what basically is the problem. Okay? Next graphic organizer, we have timeline. This used to show how events occurred chronologically through a long bar labeled with dates and specific events. Timeline is very common as well 'no, katulad na lang din ng Venn diagram. Ito din yung isa sa pinakagamit nating graphic organizer, especially in presenting history 'no. History of events, especially yung mga may year para makita natin halimbawa kung sa particular year na ito, ano ba yung na-invent, ano ba yung discovery, and paano nag-improve through the years. Or paano bumilis yung innovation, gaano nag-improve yung development. And again, these certain events occurred chronologically. Now, when we say chronologically, we are basically basing it on the time that it happened. And one more thing, usually it's represented using a long bar or a long line labeled with dates and specific events. So you try to identify the dates when it happened, no, what particular event happened during that particular time. Okay, so we have here two different types of timeline. We have the linear and the comparative. So both of these timelines use a line. In a linear timeline, it basically just shows how events or how certain events happen within one particular period. Okay, so you try to identify one particular period of time, whereas in a comparative timeline, you still have the same period. However, there are two different sets of events. So for linear timeline, there's one set of event, one period, but in comparative timeline, there are two sets of events in one period. Okay, so let's take a look at this example. This is an example of a simple linear timeline. So it's just a period that we are referring to. Here is from 1960 to 2020. Since this is just an example, manonotice natin na it might be about the development of something, no, or anything that you could think of. Since I don't include any particular topic na, um, let's think of innovation, yung nabanggit ko kanina, or the development of technologies, for example, or iPhone, no, particularly, kailan ba nagkaroon ng first iPhone, kailan ba nagkaroon ng second, and now we are in the 2025 year, and if I'm not mistaken, iPhone 16 na yung latest version. Okay, again, this is an example of a linear timeline. Let's go over this one. Now, this is an example of comparative timeline. Again, pag comparative, there is a comparison going on. There are two topics like music and science, and then same dates, no? Or same yung year, yung interval. However, again, dalawang topics yung pinagkukumpara natin. In here, we are comparing two events, developments in the music industry and in the field of science. So the time period is the same, but the events for music industry and the field of science are very different. Okay, so you try to look at in 1980, like what happened in music, what happened in science in 1990, what happened in music. Okay, so what happened in science again, you try to compare it. That's why it's called comparative timeline. Okay, the next graphic organizer, we have plot diagram. This used to map events in the story and or analyze major parts of a plot. Usually, we use plot diagram, this type of organizer, when we read the story or after reading a story. Okay, so we can say that the plot diagram has these parts. The first one is the exposition, next conflict, next rising action, next climax, next falling action, and lastly resolution. So the exposition is simply the beginning of your story. So what happened at the beginning of the story? And then as the story progresses, as it goes up, there are conflicts that are happening. There are certain events that lead to a problem or an issue in the story. Okay? So usually ganun naman talaga yung nangyayari, 'di ba? Sa mga kwento, sa mga teleserye, parang ang chill-chill, biglang papasok yung problema or yung conflict. Then it goes up to the topmost part of your plot diagram, which we refer to as the climax. Okay, so climax, this is the most exciting part of the story. Then after that, para lang siyang roller coaster ride, no? It goes downhill. And those events that lead up to the end, at the very end of the story, are what we call falling actions. Okay, so these are certain events that would lead to the end or the conclusion of your story. As for the last part of the story, we can call it as the resolution. Okay, so I have here an example for plot diagram. Are you familiar with this story, rather? The Three Little Pigs, no? Bata pa lang tayo ay naririnig na natin itong kwentong ito. The three little pigs leave their home for the first time, and then the events leading up to the climax, it's when the wolf tried to blow the houses of the pigs down, okay? But then, of course, the pigs are very smart, no? So the wolf wasn't able to blow the house down, but he still thought of an idea on how to get to the wall, okay? How to get to the pigs. So that's the climax of the story. And then obviously at the end, the pigs won against the big bad wolf. Okay? So the next graphic organizer, we have the chain diagram. This used to show the logical sequence of events. Actually, somehow similar ito sa plot diagram because it's used to plot the events of the story. Okay? However, in this one, it doesn't matter in the chain diagram if it's the climax or you don't have to identify if it's the climax, if it's the disposition, if it's the falling action, etc., etc. Okay? So in chain diagram, you just simply show what happened to that story, what happened um what happened to the characters, what are the details, but you do it in a way that is still chronologically arranged. Ibig sabihin, sunod-sunod pa rin from the start to the end. Pero hindi mo na kailangang i-identify alin dito yung climax, alin dito yung conflict. Okay? So that's the difference between the two. Okay, so look at our example of chain diagram. This is very simple. You can just use boxes and arrows to do it. So for the first box on top, you can use an initiative or initiating event, and you can write down what leads up to that particular event, and then the next, second event, next, third event, and lastly, the outcome until you reach the very end of the story or the conclusion of the story. Next, we have the fishbone map. This used to better understand causal relationship of a complex phenomenon by showing factors that cause a specific event or problem as well as details of each cause. Okay, so in this type of graphic organizer, there is already an identified effect. Okay, but what was the cause of that particular thing? What caused that particular topic? Or what caused that particular idea? Okay, so that's what we mean by causal relationship. Take, for example, this one. You already identified the result or the effect of this one. And that's your central topic or main central topic. And then you can see that using lines, you can create different or you can identify causes using different lines. And kung tititigan natin, mukha talaga siyang fishbone, 'di ba? Okay, so ito naman ay mas detailed example ng fishbone map. Okay, so again, nabanggit natin kanina na identified na yung effect sa fishbone map. And in this example, we can see that the effect is missed deadline, which is already identified. That's already the effect of whatever that's causing it. Okay, so or what are what causes missed deadline? Bakit ba mahirap para sa mga estudyante na mag-submit ng requirements on time? No, alamin natin yung mga dahilan nila, what causes it. Try natin i-identify yung mga issues. Okay, so stated in here, it could be people, it could be the method, it could be the measurement, it could be the environment, it could be the materials, or it could even be the machine. No? So we identify different causes for the already given effect. Kumbaga sa fishbone, nandiyan na yung ulo, 'no? I-identify na lang natin yung mga tinik. Alright? So the next one, we have this graphic organizer called cycle. It describes how a series of events interact to produce a set of results repeatedly. So kaya siya tinawag na cycle. Okay? Kasi paikot-ikot lang. Repeatedly. So basically, a cycle looks like a circle. Okay, there are series of events that connected to one another. So one event leads to another event, and then that event leads to another, and so on and so forth until you go back at the very start. Okay? Kaya siya tinawag na cycle. Kaya siya naging paikot or circle. You always go back to where you started. Okay, so take this for example. If you're going to look at it intently, or kapag magdodrawing tayo ng graphic organizer for a cycle, pwede natin gamitin yung arrows. Okay? Pwede rin namang pictures and arrows or pwede namang pictures lang na papaikot para ma-identify natin yung relationship among the events. Okay? So again, look at our example. This is a butterfly life cycle which we can often see in science textbooks. No? It starts from the eggs, turning into larvae, and then grows a chrysalis around themselves and then becomes an adult, and that adult eventually lays eggs, repeating the life cycle of a butterfly. Okay, I mentioned earlier na pwede pictures lang, pero necessary pala talaga yung arrow, no? Kasi pwede magkabaliktad. Para hindi tayo malito, use a picture or use pictures and use arrows if you are using this type of graphic organizer, which is cycle. Okay, next proceed with the next one. We have persuasion map. This used to map out argument and evidence that prove a viewpoint, especially useful when processing persuasive or argumentative texts. Okay, for example, merong debate sa school, no? And kailangan mong mag-provide ng mga argumentative essay, persuasive essay para ma-persuade mo yung audience or para ma-provide mo yung arguments mo, no? Magke-create ka ng essay. So this persuasion map can help you. You can use this tool for your debate. So I have here an example. So this persuasion map is a very good tool in organizing the information that you need to present, no? All of your arguments and your sentiments, followed or supported by evidences. Okay, school safety reaction. Okay. So again, kapag gusto mong gumawa ng mga argumentative essays or you want to engage in debates, you can use a persuasion map to do that. Okay, now we're done with the organizers. Let's move forward to the benefits of graphic organizers. First one, it helps visualize or present information in a way that is easier to comprehend. Okay, so since it's graphic nga in nature, no, meaning gumagamit siya ng mga illustrations, ng mga lines, ng mga shapes, ng mga colors, it's very easy for us to understand it, no? Sabi ko nga kanina, isang tingin mo lang dun sa graphic organizer, makita mo lang yung itsura niya, no? Makita mo lang na mukhang isda yan, alam mo na kung anong gamit na. Okay, yung fishbone map, for example. It's very easy for us to identify what type of information is already presented. For example, dalawang overlapping circles, no? So you already know that it's a Venn diagram. It presents comparison, no? The similarities, the differences of two topics. And we as writers, kung gagamitin natin ito or we are to write one, no, it's also very easy for us in a way that we could also be creative in expressing the information that we want to relate or to express the relationships or the connections. Kunin mo lang yung pinaka-importanting point, drawing ka ng illustration, no? It's very easy to understand and to create. Second one, it provides opportunity for everyone to actively contribute and participate in the learning process. So similarly, just like in brainstorming, no, we can also give opportunities for other students or for other members of the group to contribute to the information gathering. So lahat makakagawa, lahat may part. Kaya best activity din ito for groupings. Third one, it develops cognitive skills such as brainstorming, critical and creative thinking, categorizing, and prioritizing content, reflection, etc. It helps us move out of our comfort zone, no? Lumalawak ang ating imagination, ng ating pag-iisip. Nai-improve yung thinking skills natin. We are able to think critically. For example, dun sa graphic organizer natin na problem solution map, no? We are able to think deeply of the definition. What could be the causes? Could it be the people? Could it be the environment? What are the other factors? No? And we can give probable solutions. With the help of graphic organizers, lumalalim din yung pag-iisip natin. Next, helps recall prior knowledge about the subject and quickly connects it to new information. Okay, nabanggit nga natin kanina na ang graphic organizers present connections or relationships. So, maipapakita natin yung connection ng ideas natin. Yung idea natin before and yung new ideas natin ngayon. Lastly, promotes self-learning and students can familiarize themselves with the lesson far more easily. So, instead of writing down words, writing down letters, no? Lahat ng nababasa natin, we can just easily utilize graphic organizers by just picking out the most important points, no? Especially we can use this when we are taking down notes in a meeting, in discussion, in seminars. This is very useful. Okay, that's it for today. Thank you for listening. I hope you make it at the end of our discussion. I'll be uploading our next topic, which is outlining or sentence and topic outline. So make sure to watch that one also. Thank you and goodbye.